Hello, my peeps. Oh, goodness. Is it working? Hello, my peeps. I think I'm live. Here's today's deep thought for you. If my computer decides to, for whatever reason, log me out of Zoom, and it takes me, who knows all of my user IDs and passwords and everything about me, 15 minutes to get in, why is it so easy for hackers? Because it sure as heck ain't easy for users. I have no idea why. Lately, everything I go into, I've been logged out of. It's frustrating. That's all I can say. So it's Tuesday, still afternoon, even though it seems like it's a whole other day after all that fighting with the computer. It is Tuesday. What day is it? The 15th of April. And I am Tracey, Stampin' Up Demonstrator, friendly neighborhood paper pusher. A little less friendly this afternoon because I'm frustrated with the technology, but I'm going to get past it. So yeah, how's your Tuesday going? Mine's actually going pretty well. I checked out a little earlier our new website with they were doing the big turnover for the new Stampin Rewards, and it was done a lot earlier. It was, I think I looked at like 11. I didn't look on purpose, but when my computer starts up, it starts up a certain way, and it like automatically went to, that's the default page. And it was, I didn't get the error message because I did get the error message this morning. I took a screenshot of it, I think, because I thought it was funny. Where did I take a screenshot of it? Oh, no, that is the question. Because in big letters, it just said, the site is down for maintenance. The site is down for maintenance. And it said it in French and English, and it said it about 3 times. But then when I went on the next time, you could see it was the site. So it seems to have gone well. And I took some screenshots as I was going. I signed in as a customer. For demos, as soon as you sign in the first time, there's a chance to read the terms and conditions. And then you basically close that window. And by closing that window, you've accepted the terms and you're in. I don't think demos have the option to opt out of the rewards. I still don't know why you'd want to opt out of collecting rewards. Because even if you don't use them, nothing happens. They'll sit there. Join. I mean, I just don't understand why you wouldn't want to get them, because you never know if you might want to use them. But anyways, so with the, oh, sorry, it took me so long to make this one particular treat holder I was struggling with. And I just went to move it out of the way and pull the ribbon off, or the twine off. I'm going to a canning workshop tomorrow. And so I was trying to make them. I had to dig into the retired stuff, but it took me forever to find little veggies. And so this is my little antipasto. It took forever to find something small enough that I could fit it in the jar. And then I, of course, love the sentiment, happiness is homemade. And it's got some fruit and some chocolate in it. But we'll try to move those out of the way without ripping the thing off. Okay. Squirrel. So as a customer, when you first log in, this is what you're going to get. Just a minute. Let me remember how I'm doing this. Let's go 3. Ooh, 3 is very close. So this is what's going to pop up. It's going to say join Stampin Rewards, and it gives you the option. I have to scroll down a little bit. So it tells you right here, by clicking get started, you acknowledge you've read the terms and conditions, and there's a link to read the terms and conditions. So you probably should read them, and they're pretty standard. What everybody else, terms and conditions, they all kind of sound the same. But you should read them, because as soon as you hit the button, they're assuming you've read them. So you have the option to get started, and you have the option maybe later. And under maybe later, it says you can join at any time by visiting. So I didn't click on the maybe later button. And then once I clicked the first one, I couldn't go back. So I should have done it in the opposite order, but that's okay. Like I said, I don't know why you wouldn't just collect them anyways. So I'm going to assume that when you get there, it says, hey, you can opt in at any time. And in the video, which I'll reference in a minute, you can see there's a note underneath on the site, which is not how I see it, but I'm assuming it's in there somewhere if you say no. So you click the get started button, right? It pops up the first time you log in, it says get started. Then it says success, because that's all you got to do is say get started, because now you're collecting. So that is basically the opting in part, is you say get started. So then this comes up. Now there's a link right here that will take you to your rewards area, but obviously this is not always going to be there because you're going to eventually hit close on the button. So if you hit close and now you're on the website and you're like, oh, but I want to check my rewards out. This is just the upper corner. So I've got my whole big computer screen here, right? I got ink on my hand. And in the upper corner, you see this little present. You click on the present and it will say rewards, and you can click on, if you click on the present, it just tells you like how many rewards you have. And then underneath it should say details, and you can click on the details and it will give you the whole thing. I'll show you that in a minute. Or if you, I don't know, for some reason don't want to, you could also just click on your name and go down where it says rewards. Oops, sorry. I just haven't got used to where the zoom is. You can just click on your name when you get this drop down menu. So this here, subscriptions, that's where your paper pumpkin is. I had a few people ask me about that. And this is where you can change all your stuff. Well, there's the little rewards right there. Okay, so that's easy enough to get to. And then when you get there, because they're brand new, just I gotta zoom out a little bit. This is a little bit too much. So when you click on there, this is what it's going to show you. If you had rewards, it would show you how many you had, and then how many of them and when they were expiring. So if you had 20 rewards, $20 in rewards, and 5 of them were expiring, it would show that. There's a little toggle down here that says show details. You can click on this and then it will tell you at the end of May, $5 is retiring, or whatever I said earlier, right? So it'll show you if you have some that you're about to use. The rewards are good for a year, the ones that you earn as a customer. I, as a demonstrator, can gift you rewards. Customers can't gift each other, but a demonstrator can gift rewards to a customer. Those ones are good for 90 days. So it's possible, like this one, you won't see anything expiring for a while unless somebody gives you some. I can't show you how that works because nobody has opted in yet. And so I don't have anybody, I can't get that to work. But anyways, so this is what your little section on your computer is going to look like. Now, as soon as you do that other step and you say success, you did it, you're going to get an email sent to you. So this is the email that I got sent. And it says, congratulations, you're now part of the program. If you want to, you can read. There's a document in there you can read, or there's a little blue link that says, or you can watch. And then there's a Q&A page. So if you click on this link that says watch, it's like 4.5 minutes long, I think. It's Sarah Douglas, the CEO of Stampin' Up, and she walks you through, okay, great. So here's how you've earned the rewards. Here's so it shows you where you can go see them, how you can use them on an order. Like, it gives you all of that stuff. I think the one thing I forgot to mention, which is another bonus, like this rewards program is so good for customers. Like, it's so good for you guys. I've been doing this, I think it's almost 13 years now. It's end of April is when I joined. So I'm almost at my Stampiversary. I've had a handful of people ever buy $200 or more, customers buy $200 or more. I mean, demonstrators knew how to work the system, not work it in a bad way, but like knew every in and out of the system and could maximize the rewards. But the rewards were not really intended for demonstrators. Demonstrators have a compensation plan. But so this is now, you can tell, is this really, it's all about the customer. This is so, demonstrators can still earn them, but you can tell that this program is set up for customers, which is what it was always supposed to be. So now, instead of having to buy $200 to start getting rewards, every order, $25 or more, earns you rewards. And they go into your little bank here. Put that down a bit, right? And then when you want to redeem them, you can just go order. Here's the cool part, though. If you have an order for $40 and you want to redeem $20 in rewards because you've been buying for the next 6 months or whatever, and you've saved up $20 or however that works. When you go to redeem $40 worth, or on your $40 order, and you go to redeem 20, you will still earn rewards on the other 20. So you can redeem and earn all in the same order, right? Super, super customer friendly. This is a great plan. Cannot wait to dive into it and see you guys start earning. They're still working out how to do like group orders where they ship different places, or like 5 different people do a group order and ship it all to one location. where you can all still earn your rewards, but you don't all have to pay the 10.95 shipping, where we can like somehow share that. That is not figured out and likely will not be figured out until at least the fall. But in the meantime, I have figured out a way as a demonstrator to still do group orders. So when I say I'm going to do a group order, and I collect everybody's order, I'm just going to track the stuff myself. And when it comes time that you want to redeem some rewards, I can gift them to you, because I will have them all in my little reward bank. I can gift them to you, and you can use the ones I gift you, plus any that you've earned otherwise by ordering directly. And you just redeem them that way. Paper pumpkin kits are they're $36.75, and I want to say $27 of that is the actual kit. The rest is shipping. So you will earn Stampin Rewards on your paper pumpkin kits. So anybody who's got a paper pumpkin subscription, every month you're going to earn $2.70, I think. Maybe, yeah, I think I read $2.70. So that would make the kit $27. So you're just going to keep earning that every month, right? So you're going to earn it on all sorts of different ways. And oh, it's all going to be great. We're going to figure it all out. So go in, opt in, get started, watch the little video. And if you have questions, let me know. Okay. Stampin Rewards. Okay. I did do my schedule yesterday. I was so excited when I actually remembered. I was working on it Friday night, and then I got distracted, so I didn't finish it till yesterday, but I did do it. So yeah, I'm keeping it light this week. I had such a busy week last week, and I do have lots still going on this week. But it's also Easter weekend, and we're going to do some family stuff, and so I'm not overloading my schedule on things this time. I'm going to show you a cool fun fold. Here, you want a sneak peek? Whoa! No, just kidding. Fun fold with some new products. I think all of those are, except for the embellishments, I think all of those are new. And I'm going to make one with you. So we're going to do that. I originally saw this. I had a picture of this. I was looking for a different fun fold, and I was looking at my tutorials and I couldn't find it. And then I saw this picture of this card, and I'm like, oh, maybe we could make that one instead. And I found the tutorial, which was all in centimeters. And I think it was based on like 12 by 12 paper was what was used for it. And so I started to make that card, and it was huge. And I was like, nope, that's going to be very, that's going to use a lot of DSP. That's not going to be a cheap card. So I then rejigged everything to make it work. So it's a 4.25 by 5.5 card, and will still fit in one of our envelopes. Because this card does fit in this envelope. And so I don't have all the instructions and everything written out, but I will have them written out for tomorrow. So that's that. And then our mission Monday this week, anybody figure out where this sketch came from yet? Is this sketch. And I have some other new products that I can't wait to play with. And so I mentioned this in the post, but sometimes when you buy a new product, you're just like, oh, I like it. And you don't necessarily have a card in mind. And if you need to jumpstart your brain, one of the easiest way to do it is just take that thing and then do a sketch with it. Like, so you're just trying to, well, which pieces will fit? I did have a couple ideas for some old products to do this, and then I'm going to see how it works with the new product. So I'm going to do a fair bit of playing just to see what I come up with. So we'll have those on Friday, and I would love it if you would play along and put your sketches up there too. That would be awesome. I had an awesome time on Friday night with the lovely ladies. We did our catalog launch, and we made some cards, which I don't have out, so I can't show you. Mixed media. Mixed media? That's not what it's called. Mixed florals from the Mixed Florals Media Suite, or anyways, whatever it is. Absolutely love that stuff. I just keep making more and more. Actually, I'm sure one of the sketches will likely end up with that too. It was so, and to see all the new products and see the new in colors in person and hand out everybody's catalog. And we had I made a fun little, I should have saved one. Oh, the new Pop and Buy set with the popcorn. I absolutely love it. We have a theater room in the basement. And as soon as I saw it, I'm like, oh, I might actually, we have to replace the flooring. So everything's torn up right now. But once it's all going again, I think I'm going to make invites to invite the family over for movie night, because this thing is just adorable. So the little table treats that were out had a whole bunch of treats and things in them, but one of them was popcorn. So anyways, I had such a good time on Friday. So we're doing that again with the holiday mini will be another sort of catalog launch. Plus that's holiday head start. We always make early Christmas cards. Sometimes it's August or first week of September, just for anybody who needs to get their cards going quicker. So that is the 6th of September coming up. So watch for registrations in August. In the meantime, though, there's 2 more kit-togethers before we break for the summer break. I'll still be doing stuff, but we just don't do any get-togethers over the summer because I don't know, most people tend to leave town or go camping or have various other things going on. So, but I have some of the new kits. This is the only one I can reach right now. The other ones are everywhere else. Love these. This card kit, which I forgot the name of. Just a minute. Loveliest Wishes. Oops, it's not even showing up on the screen. Absolutely love this. So I have this one. I have the other one. I can show you the flower kit. That's not one that you can actually make because it's sort of a kit. But if you want me to order you one, I'll happily order you one, and then you can make it because it's awesome. The paper bouquet one. So impressed with that kit. I've got the Daisy paper pumpkin kit. I've got this month's paper pumpkin kit, which has shipped, and I think should be here pretty soon. What day is today? Tuesday. So if it shipped yesterday, I should have it by the end of the week. So that will be part of next Tuesday. I'll show you that one, but I'm just looking to see, when does it say I'm getting it? Because all of a sudden I'm in a panic thinking, oh, please tell me it's not today, because the dog will lose his nut if the guy shows up during this. No, I think it's later. Anyways, lots of kits to work on, all brand new that you guys haven't worked on before. 26th of April, so that is not this Saturday, which is part of Easter weekend, but the following one. I need you to register by Monday if you're coming, so I know how many treats to make and how many things to get ready. Okay. This is the April kit that is on its way, winging its way here as we speak with this cool watercolor stuff. Looking forward to that. I put the wrong printout in here. The thing is, I know I printed the other one. So the question is, where did I put it? The May kit. Oh, well, bugger. The May kit is a very small picture here. The May kit, which is the one that is coming, is this one right here. And it looks nice. And as demos, we get to see some sneak peeks. I really hope there's little like bird embellishments, like these cool birds. There's little vellum pieces though that layer and make the mountain like misty in the background. And then there's some of this. And the sentiments that they're showing us so far are Happy Father's Day, best dad ever. You're the best. Thank you. And I think maybe there's a happy birthday in there too. So it is geared masculine, but it is not exclusively masculine because who doesn't love the mountains? And yeah, you're the best can be for anybody. So I can't wait for that one. So that one you still have time to subscribe if you want that one. Our retired product sale is coming up very quickly. Those of you who came to catalog launch got a VIP pass, which gets you in a bit early. Otherwise, it's open to just the general public. Oops, gotta move that down so you can actually see it. Oh, you know why? Because I just realized I'm still zoomed in. Yeah, let me know if you send me an email. I'll send you a reminder the week before just so you don't forget. And then our Christmas extravaganza, which is always a big hit, comes up on the 4th of October, but getting the product and getting everything done all happens in like June, July at the latest. Yeah, it's a lot of work, a lot of prep time, lead time. So registration is already open for this, and we are just about at the halfway point for sold out for the in-person. So we have lots of returnees, 36 seats, and we're almost at half already. So if you are interested, register now. I put the link already a few times, but I will put it again. You have to have completed the registration form and sent me the e-transfer for at least the minimum. We don't have all the details. There'll be add-ons later once we get more details at the beginning of June. And we find out more information about World Card Making Day and everything. But if you pay at least the basic registration and do your registration form before the 6th of June, you'll be entered for a set of dies. We usually pick a bundle to work with, and the stamp set is included. And then if you want to upgrade to get the dies, you can. But one person we draw and they get the dies for free. So those are the updates. Yeah, I start so late now because of that blasted technology. Okay, so let's make a card. pretty envelope. And I'm sitting really far back all of a sudden. So this is really pretty paper. This paper is one of the new ones. This is one of the pieces I left out because this is what we're going to make the next card with. I was getting it ready. It is called, I don't even know what it's called, Floral Impressions. And this is from the upcoming, the online exclusives that get released in May. And look at this amazing piece of paper. It's got the rainbows and the flowers and oh, I could just look at this paper and don't even have to cut it up or do anything with it. And I feel like, well, now how, and I mean, if you cut it into 4-inch strips, you're actually going to get some cool, like semi-rainbow thingies. You could make a whole set so that like you get all the different rain. It's beautiful paper, a beautiful paper. And it comes with, there's an embossing folder, which I realized I did not buy. There is a ephemera pack that comes with these gold labels. So there's 2 each of 3 designs. So the little guys, and then they get a little bit bigger. And then I was originally going to use this one, so it's all popped out. But and then the last sheet, there's 2 of these sheets. The last sheet has big ones on it. And you notice that these ones come out where you get like the frame. So you can, this can go on other stuff, frame, I don't know, do funky things with it. So anyways, gold foiled ephemeras. Those come with it. I dropped this on the floor. It comes with, these are called Strawberry Slush and Pretty and Pink Gems. And there's 3 of them. I don't know why it doesn't mention the clear ones, but so we have the Strawberry Slush, Pretty and Pink, and then clear ones. And then I don't know, you can certainly see how sparkly they are. They have little gold foil flecks in them to go with the gold theme. Things falling everywhere. I have too much stuff on my desk right now. And then stamping. You'll see later when we stamp, if you're using a solid photopolymer image, that's what I was trying to spit out. You definitely want to stamp on your Pierce mat because you'll get a much better image. Sorry, I'm hitting something in here that's just driving me bonkers as I'm trying to put my paper where I can normally put it, but I've knocked something sideways and now it's not letting me do what I want. And every time I frustratedly just try to jam it in there, I'm pretty much just making it worse, not better. Shockingly. Why is brute force not helping me? Okay, so then this is the bundle that goes with it, called Impressions of Bloom. And this is what the bundle looks like when you knock it on the floor. So it does have lots of good things in it, and I'm going to show you a couple pointers about it as we go here. Just when I'm going to find there's my 2 pieces that I wanted. So it comes with, it's got lots of leaves. These little flowers that are on my card, I'll show you a close up in a minute. I don't think that's what that was. They are, you can stamp, and then like you could stamp this flower, and then this will cut it out, or you can stamp, or you can just put this inside of it, and you'll get this die cut embossed all in one flower. And one of the tips I'm going to give you is when you first get it and you're putting it together, before or as you're ripping it off the cardstock, you know, the little piece it comes on with the sticky. Now, if you want to play the whole which way does this go game, you're more than welcome to. I need to make this a little more solid behind it. Or when you first get it, take it when it comes out, when it's all lined up, and put a little Sharpie mark. Put a little Sharpie mark. It's like Marky Mark, only it's Sharpie mark on the embossed piece and on the outline piece, right? So they go together. Now, it doesn't matter if they line up exactly or whatever. You just want to know this, because when you lay it on your paper to die cut it, this way you know, because then you're not putting this down and going, which way does this go again, and spitting until you can make it fit. You just know to put it like this, and then you could just do your adjustments. So I have done that on all of these pieces, have little Sharpie marks on them. These ones are getting slightly worn off because I cut a whole bunch of flowers earlier. If they do, before they fade completely, just go back and draw on them again. There's little bits and pieces that make the centers. There's the other one that makes the other flower. And then we have these two big ovals. I wanted to show you about that because when you look at it, especially in the online exclusives where you're looking at it on just on the computer, you can only see so much. So I don't know where all these go. I'll figure it out again later. Here's another trick I will tell you. I didn't do this yet, of course, which is why life likes to teach you lessons. So it says, hey, you know how I told you you should really mark that thing down? Yeah, you didn't. And so I'm going to knock on the floor just so you can remember to do it the next time. What I do on my phone, albums. I have an album on my phone and it has all of the pictures of, it's not all of them, but as I started doing this, so because I'm determined I'm going to fit them all in my case, right? Even if there's 2 sheets of dies, I will fit them on one magnet in my case. So I have them all jammed in there, as you can see, but none of them overlap. That's very important to me. I don't want to warp anything. So I take a picture of them, and then the next time I make the thing, and I'm like, how the heck did I get that back in there? I just bring up the picture and go, oh, that's how I did it. It also helps me know if any of them are missing, because I can look and make sure they're all there. I just didn't take a picture of this before I knocked it on the floor because it's brand new and I'm just starting to play with it. I just realized there's still a piece of cardstock in this particular stem. There we go. So yeah, they all do fit in here eventually, but I'm not gonna spend the next 20 minutes figuring that out. I will do that after. So we'll move those down there. Okay, so we have 2 of these ovals. And they look like they're the same size, which made me think, well, can I layer them? Like, what am I doing with these things? So the one just cuts out a plain oval like this. And this one, I'm going to do it in white so it's easier to see. This one cuts out an oval and a separate little ring, right? So you can see when you look at them, one is strictly just has like the straight edge. It just cuts a simple line. And this one has the stitched edge on it. So the one with the stitched edge, and you can tell when you see them in person, you can tell because you can see that there's a cutting edge on the outside and inside of this die. So that's how you know it's going to cut this ring for you. Now this ring gets a little like warped. It's very thin. So I would think this is going to be fun to try to glue down. So if you're planning to do this, I would suggest just put the adhesive sheet behind it. Even if you don't need it on a piece this big, you will be thankful that you have it on this piece. And then you have the middle comes out. And here's the fun part. So I can cut this. I cut a different one of this color too. So I could use it like this, right? And I could outline this one, or I guess I could do it this way. So I could stamp on it. Right? But if you just take the inside pieces, which is my plan for today, for card number 2, let's move those out of the way. If you just take the inside pieces and layer them, you get the one I prefer. You get a nice like 1/16 border around if you just layer the inside pieces without the fancy piece. So that's what you can do with those pieces. And like I said, you can see that this is die cut, right? So I have die cut and embossed. So I die cut the outer side. There's a little piece that goes in the middle that embosses this. This is the outer boundary, which you can either die cut the stamped image or this. And here's the little embossing pieces. The thanks I just fussy cut. So yeah, these little embellishments, I think they're current. Pecan pie and clear ribbon adhesive back dots. They were in the online exclusives at some point, and they're just beautiful because it's like a little, like a waffle pattern almost of gold thread inside of them. Anyways, they're very cool. And then these leaves are part of the dies as well. So this is the card. Oh, and here's what it looks like if you stamp it, right? And the stamps are 2-step stamping. So there's a like I did this in daffodil is the light one, and then you can see because I'm slightly crooked, crushed curry for the detailed one, and the same in the center. There's pecan pie as the big circle, and then early espresso on top of it to give dimension. So we have a belly band on this card. Which I made a little snug. We're going to make the next one not quite so snug. Oh, and I did use one of the labels. You can see in the background there, I did one of the labels. So when we make our belly band, you'll see that we've got our fold is underneath the label, so we don't see it. So it's nice and smooth. And then, is this not the most gorgeous paper? I absolutely love it. Where'd my other piece go? Oh, there it is. We're going to do this as we go. But one of the things, so this is the trickier part when I was doing the math, was figuring this out. And it's a weird number, but once you know the number, you know the number. So you need to cut 2 of these. So this is just a generic, pattern. So it's fine. But the one on the inside is very specific. So the caution I will give you, and I will say it again when we go to cut the other piece, is make sure you're paying attention to the direction of the paper, if you have directional paper, because the first one I cut, which I will find somewhere to put this thing, I cut it the triangle this way, and you'll notice all the plants are upside down. And then I thought, well, I could put this on the front, but it turns out that this one, the plants were also upside down. So I was unable to use this. And it looks like this one we're matching, right? I could have, but when you flip it open, I have this other piece here. Now, what I was thinking about doing with this, because in the original picture I saw, which I only have on my computer, I don't even know if I ever printed out or something. There we go. She had a strip. She had this part was white, and she had a strip of DSP going up the side. And I thought, well, that's odd. And I wouldn't normally put DSP like on this side of a card. Like when you open the card, usually it's just on the one side. But then I thought, well, wouldn't that be handy? I have my little credit card case that my mother made me that has these are all expired gift cards, but they work. I thought, well, wouldn't it be nice if, I buried things here. If you put, like, you could use this for like this because it's a little prettier. And this might actually work now that I think of it. It wasn't intended that way. Oh my goodness, I think it will. It's not a 90-degree corner. Although I could trim it and fix it and make it a 90-degree corner, which might be what I do. But I was thinking maybe what we should do is put like something in here so that this half is a gift card. So you get a fancy card and a gift card. And I thought, it doesn't always have to be about the gift card. Because when I went this weekend, where did I put those little things? I had made these, jammed them too full. I had made these little packets. And I handed them to some of the volunteers that were working at this gardening workshop I went to this weekend. And the lady grabbed it and went, oh, that's so nice. My thing is taped crooked because I filled it too full. She said, will it grow in the shade? And I said, well, it's full of lifesavers, so no. So because it was a gardening thing, I guess she just assumed I was giving her seeds. I mean, I wanted them to look like a seed package, and then I felt bad because she seemed almost disappointed that it wasn't seeds, that it was just lifesavers. Although the one presenter had just went like 60 minutes talking. I don't even think she took a breath in the whole 60 minutes. And when I gave her hers afterwards, she said, oh, that's so sweet. What is it? I said, lifesaver. She goes, oh my God, I need a lifesaver so badly right now. And like instantly ripped it open and took one. And she's like, oh my God. And then I saw her a little bit later and she's like, thank you so much. That was just what I needed. So some people want lifesavers. Some people want seeds. But I was looking at the size of the card because I'm getting ready to plant, right? So I do have a seed packet. So funny enough, it does actually fit. You know what I'm going to do? Because now that I said it, I want to try it. I'm going to make this. So this works on any trimmer. This just happens to be a trimmer that's small enough that it'll fit on the screen. I think I'm zoomed in again, aren't I? Oops. What the heck did I do there? If you take anyone, so this one is my wonky angle, but I want to make sure my plants are going up and I want to make it 90 degrees. So if I line this, like I'm using this line here, if I line up against there, I'm going to put the corner there. I'm going to line up against there. And then I cut, now I got a 90-degree corner. a problem solved. And you can do that on your bigger trimmer too. It works the same. So now, and because I want to be able to put something in here and not be trying to jam in behind the DSP all the time, I am going to use dimensionals instead of tear and tape. I think it would work with tear and tape or glue or whatever as well. But the seed packet, this particular one is not super thick. Just a minute. It's funny because when I go out, I'm looking for different seeds and I'm gathering things, and I have some old ones which I found out some seeds will last for like up to 10 years. And so now everywhere I go, I'm like grabbing seeds. I have seeds all over my house. So this one's a little bit thicker. It's also green, so it matches. So this one's a bit thicker, so you definitely would want like a little bit of lift on it. And this is why you don't want to make your belly band too tight, because we'll see if I can actually fit the belly band back on with seeds inside. If you were going to put seeds on it, I would recommend putting the seeds in first. Because then I get a nice little border down there. So I get a border and a border, which I think is cute. I'm going to put my little corner piece there. Because I think this side needs something. I was going to stamp, but then I'm like, so you could stamp as well. But I thought, no, we'll make this like a little gifty. We're going to put the green one in just because it looks good. I could tell you a funny story about being a kid and picking spinach in my mom's garden, because every time I see garden, like spinach from the garden or the seeds, it still cracks me up. So because this is now, I've made this a little tighter. We're gonna have to use this trick and get it back on again. So when you're putting the belly band on, it should be fit that you can just like slide it on. Oh, and I did that time. Look at that. Oops. Right under the paper though. You can if not, when you go to put it on, just use your thumbs and kind of bend your card in a bit and it'll work. I'm going from the bottom this time because I realized afterwards I put one of my embellishments there and it may not slide over it that easily. Oh, look at that. So now we have a nice little seed gift pack. Isn't this card fantastic? Love it. I think it's fun. I think we'll make the next one into maybe a gift card holder. Okay, I forgot to grab a piece of paper. The next one, we are going to use this paper, and I'm going to show you how to make it because it is, I got about 20 minutes. I started late, I realized, so I'm hoping that's not too bad. Question is, no, I'm going to make it out of this one. Okay, so we do need to start with a full sheet of paper because I have to get this out of my way. I don't want to put it away too far though, because I'm going off memory now. That should scare you. I'm going off memory. Like I said, I'll have all the measurements tomorrow, but yeah, we need our foldy pieces to be the 11-inch side. So we're going to put this in on the short side here, and we're going to cut it at 5.5 to get our standard card base. We're going to keep this because we need it for the belly band. Although I'm kind of wondering if I'm going to use a different color belly band. But if you want to use the same one, it all works out of the same piece. And then we're going to turn it the long ways now. And we are going to cut 1/2 inch off because we need this starting piece. Just that I'm hitting something over there. We need this starting piece, line up to the right line, to be 10.5 by 5.5 is our starting piece, right? So we'll just cut that little strip off. We'll use that somewhere else. Then, because we want this card to be our, 4.25 standard, so we're doing 4.25, and then we want another 4.25, which will leave us with 2 inches left over. Because I don't have room to stick the arm out, I'm just going to flip it around and do the 2 inches because it's easier. I still need to cut the DSP. I'm still going to need that trimmer. A minute. For now. Okay, so here's what you want to do. We still have to cut this, but I learned this on my test one before I did the green one. I did a test one. I learned this the hard way. So take our little 2-inch flap that we have, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to fold it. Now, we're doing this because, I'll take this band off. Oh, it does slide over. These are fairly low profile, so I guess it's going to work either way. We need to be able to fold this piece into here. So I'll take those out because now they're just going to get in my way. Put it back into the photo. We need this to fold in and then this to fold over. So if you just fold your card in half first, this may or may not fit over it because score lines have like a little bit of give, right? So the reason we're doing this first, we're going to cut this afterwards. Well, we're doing this first to make sure that this fits into this one. So I find it easier to actually flip it upside down. But I'm going to fold on the score line. And I'm going to use this, the little flap that I turned up, as my kind of stopper. So I'm going to put it in just inside the score line and I'm going to fold it over. So now I know for sure it's going to fit. And then, just going to make sure it's straight. And then I'm going to burnish. Because if I just, like I said, if I just folded it over, the littlest bit off, and this is not going to fold over easily. And by the time we jam all the other stuff in the middle, we're making this pretty snug as it is. Right? So fold this flap first. Fold this one in and use this as your place to make sure we burnish. Okay. Now we're going to grab our trimmer again. So this piece is 5.5. Half of 5.5 is 2 3/4. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down here. Try to make it where you can see me. There you go, 2 3/4. So all I do is I line this edge up here at 2 3/4. And then I use my nail. I don't even have long nails, doesn't even matter. And I go right in the groove here. And I'm just poking with my nail because now I have a little mark at 2 3/4. Okay, so that's our halfway point. Now I'm going to put, my halfway point. Sorry, I'm trying to look in two places at once. I'm going to put my halfway point up here in the groove, right in the center of it. And I'm going to put this corner in the groove. Back so far, I have something in my way there. And I'm going to cut. And that's how I'm getting my point, right? So then I'm going to do it again. Now it's much easier to see my halfway point because now my halfway point is the edge of the paper. And I'm going up there. So the point is now in the center of the groove. And the corner of this fold on the flap is in the groove. And I'm going to cut. And that is how I got my point. Wait for a second. Now, because I find it easier to cut that way with the bigger part over here, I now have the rough end of the cutting because this is smoother, right? The part you push down turns out to be smoother. So I'm just going to flip this over and I'm just going to take my bone folder and I'm just going to burnish the edge of it because that will help push down that little lip that happens the way you cut it. You can also do this and just like run your nails across it. That sort of works the same too. So now when I fold it over, I have a smooth edge instead of having a stand-uppy part. And if you need to, if you're not exactly perfect, you can just trim that little bit there and that gets you your point. So there's our card base. Ta-da! Okay. Put this over there for now. Really, if I had a bigger desk, I would have a bigger mess. I'm pretty sure that's how this works. But I really need a bigger desk for when I'm doing lives. Okay. I forgot. Grab a piece of white. I was cutting things earlier. Oh, this will work. Oh, wait a minute. I just need the standard card base. Never mind. I already have the standard card bases. So it's this the right size or not? Yes. Okay. So this piece that we need for the inside is just a 4 by 5 1/4 layer. So I already have one of those. I don't need to cut another one. I'll pull stack them over here. And then what we need to cut is the same dimensions, 4 by 5 1/4 for this piece. I could tell you a funny about what a dope I am, but and then 4 by 5 1/4 on the inside. So one of the things I noticed when I was first doing it, and I thought, well, you can't do this 6 by 12. We don't have 6 by 12 in all these different colors, but I realized we have the two-tone cardstock now, right? So this is the one that's, it doesn't really show up that much in the camera. Camera doesn't give you the, but it's two-sided, two different colors, right? So I thought, well, we could do this and have the same 2-inch strip, and then these ones would be 5. So this card ended up being 5 by 6, which you could very well do. And if you want a bigger card for whatever reason, then you can do it. You could even make it 5 by 5 and make it like a square card with the flap coming over. But then what I realized was when you go to cut the layers here, you're now cutting a layer that is 4.5 by 5.5, or 4 3/4 by 5 3/4. Sorry. And it works so much better on this when you're cutting 4-inch strips, because you will get 3 4-inch strips out of a piece of 12 by 12. So that's, you know, a big part of why I scaled it down to this size. If you're going to go with the bigger ones, just make your layers whatever layer fits. But just know that if you go with the bigger cards, you're going to use more DSP. So what we need is 2 pieces here. And then this is where, seriously, when I was first looking at this, the instructions said you need, like the little diagram that I had with all the centimeter measurements, it said you need 2 triangles. And in my head, I'm thinking, well, I don't need 2 triangles because I'm going to use this side in one spot and this side in the other spot. And it wasn't until I was cutting that I'm like, well, it's not like I can use the same thing twice on 2 different sides. So yes, then we're going to need these 2 little triangles. So first we're going to cut a 4-inch strip. We're just going to cut the 4-inch strip. And then we're going to cut the 4-inch strip 5 1/4. So this is for, I'll get the right pieces out here. So we got this center, right? And then this is our front of our card. I'm knocking things over here as I go. Move the green one out of the way. So now I have the front. So now I need this one. And again, it's a small thing, but you get a nicer edge if you flip the paper over. So this one is the reverse side. And if you don't like both sides of your paper, then choose a different paper. Then just use 2 different pieces of paper, whichever works for you. But this one, it just so happens that I like both sides. So this is a little, excuse me, this is a little leftover piece, but I think this piece will also work for the gift card holder. So I'm having trouble spitting that out all of a sudden. Okay, so now I have this piece, and same thing, because I've already cut 2 sides of it. I'm just going to, with the other one, I'm just going to run the edges over. I think that's the one I cut the right way. Just so it's a little bit smoother. So now this is this piece. Okay. So now I need the 2 triangle points. Now, in my way of, excuse me, in my way of thinking, I figured, okay, this is easy. I need this piece is 5 1/2. So if I just go 5 1/4 and make, yeah, I don't know why that didn't work. Rascal. Not even anybody outside. I'm not sure what you're barking at. I have lots of little chunks. You can see from me trying to figure out how to, and I shouldn't have picked a paper that I love, because that might be one of my favorite papers. The green one might be one of my favorite papers in there. I should have chosen a different one to do all my practice on. But nonetheless, the one measurement does work. So this flap is 2 inches wide. So we want to drop it by 1/4. So we need 1 3/4. So we're just going to cut a 1 3/4 inch strip. Now, again, if you are, if you have directional paper, rascal, are you good? If you have directional paper, you want to make sure that you are cutting the strip like with the flowers pointed up, right? Like the right direction. Like I couldn't all of a sudden decide that I want to cut this way across my paper, because my flowers are all going to be sideways in my thing, right? The flap goes this way, right? We are putting it on this way. So make sure your direction of your paper, if it has direction, is going the right way. So this strip is going to be 1 3/4. Okay. Just going to move this over here now. And then, like I said, because this worked, I thought for sure the other one would work, and I don't know. I'm sure it's got something to do with geometry or who knows what. But you would think this would be 5 1/4. But if you cut it 5 1/4, it works at the point, but it doesn't work at the corners. So this piece is actually 4 7/8. Yeah, go figure. 4 7/8. And then we'll flip it over because we need one for each side. And then another one at 4 7/8. Now I keep having all these little squares left of DSP, and I have some from the other one too. But here, pretend this is a white card front. I think these are going to work to just put like a bunch of little squares like this. So I'm not actually worried. I'm saving these little pieces just because I think it's going to make a fun card afterwards. Okay, so now I have my 2 pieces that I need. Because this one was the one that got cut the wrong way again. Oh, wait a minute. Let me find one of these sides. I can only see it really on that one. It's not very obvious on the other ones. I'll try to remember to do it on one of these cuts. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing that we did on that one. Half of 4 7/8. And this is how I do my math. And I'm going to do it out loud again just to make sure that I'm remembering the right measurement. So if this was 5, which would be so much easier, then halfway would be 2.5. But it is 1/8 shorter than that. So we need to split the difference on center by 1/16, half of 1/8. So I'm basically on my little thing, I'm just moving it over one line, which makes it, I don't know what makes it. What is that? 2? No, I forgot what it is. This is 4/8. Would be 8/16. So this is 2 7/16 is the what I want is our halfway mark. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to hold it there and I'm just going to stick my nail in the middle. Now, if you want to make sure, if you're unsure of your math and you want to double check, just move your little, like where your little nail mark is, and you'll see that you're halfway, right? Because if this lines up, now you're halfway. So go one line short, just 1/16 short of 2.5 is your halfway mark. So it is, I try to keep my finger where the mark is because this one's not as bad, but when you get to like this, it's brutal to try to see where it is. So this is going on the front of the card. I'll show you on this one. This is, I'm putting the plain pattern here. So up and down is up and down. There's not a, there is a direction, but it's just up or down. It's not, as long as I don't put the piece on sideways, it'll work. But like I said, pay attention because it matters. So I've got my mark in there and I've got my corner point in there, just like I was doing on the card. Cut that piece. There'll probably be something to do with all these triangles at some point too. And then same thing, we're just going to go with our little point. So point is in the track, corner is in the track. We'll do that. So then, sorry, how about these loose pieces that aren't glued down yet? We'll just move those over there for now. So now I have this piece. See, this is what I was thinking. I was wondering if I should do this in Fresh Freesia or if I should do it in Blackberry Bliss. And now that I'm seeing how close this matches, I'm questioning my decision. But I'll wait and see before I put the other piece on. See, and if I tried to do it this way, you'll notice that it's upside down for my flowers, right? However, if I moved it over this way, my flowers are the right direction. So this time it worked out by fluke. Last time it did not. But anyways, that's the big part. So now we're doing the same thing on this one. I want to make sure this is the flap, and this is where my flowers are going. And I want my flowers to be pointing upwards. So this is the side that has the point. So make sure you hold on to that side. And that, make sure that's the side that you put the little mark on, right? So I'm doing the same thing. I'm going down to 2 7/16. So that is 1/16, one very small line, 1/16 shy of 2.5. And I'm going to put a little mark here. Now it's worth noting in this one, my little mark is right in the edge of this petal, which might make it easier to, when I go like this, to see what I'm doing, to remember that. So I'm lining my mark I just made in the middle of the track, and I'm putting this corner in the middle of the track. I'm cutting. And then same thing, middle corner. And you just do it a couple times because as soon as you adjust one, it moves the other. So go until both of them have adjusted and stayed where they're supposed to. Got that one. And then I think I might actually be done cutting things for a bit here. So, okay. Now we just glue everything together. So this is how this is going to go. This is where I'm going to just kind of dry fit this. So sorry, I'm thinking as I go. Because in my head, I was doing this in Fresh Freesia. But like I said, this blends so well. I think it's fine, though. It still shows the pattern. Anyways, spoiler alert, I'm going to show you what the front was going to look like. Let me move these pieces out of the way just because they're just going to keep falling. This is what I'm trying to make sure I'm doing the right way. So because I'm unsure, before I glue anything down, because I might decide I want to go darker. I might decide I want to cut the other piece a different color too. So we're going to put this here. And we're going to put this here. Oh, see, I knew I forgot to cut one thing. The other thing we need to do is we need to cut a 1-inch strip. So this was what was left of the card, right? The piece I took off the card. We're just going to cut a 1-inch chunk off of it. You could be thicker, you could be thinner. 1 inch is nice. 1 inch is, because I'm going to put a big thing on it with a bunch of flowers. I want it to have, like, I don't want it, if you make it too thin, then you risk ripping it when you put it on and off. You can use ribbon here as well. I don't actually think I have any ribbon that's the right color. You could make a belly band out of ribbon, or you could also put ribbon around your belly band to decorate it up. But yeah, you want it to be like hefty enough that it's going to hold whatever you put on it and slide up and down your card without ripping. So I find 1 inch is a good one. Okay. And I might end up cutting, and maybe that's just what I'll cut the different color. Who knows? Okay, so I'll put this back where I was going originally. So we're going to have a belly band go across the middle. And then my plan was going to be to put the Blackberry Bliss background and possibly the white one. I haven't quite decided. We'll see when I get the flowers on it. It's a very fine little bit of blackberry. This might be too big as well. I might go back and use one of the other ones. I only got as far as knowing that I was going to do a second one, and I picked this paper and these colors. And you will be happy to know that I had the foresight to cut a bunch of flowers out, so you don't have to be here for 10 minutes extra while you watch me die cut all my little flowers out. And I cut a bunch of leaves, and because there's so many fun little things in there, I was just going to town. I have a bunch of leaves and a bunch of little flowers. And my thought was, because I was going to match, the thing is, I think the problem with this, as I'm looking at this oval right now, is I'm covering up too much of the pretty paper. But this was the plan, was going to be to put a big one and a little one. This one goes in the middle. This one goes here. But see, the middle of these flowers is this dark color, which I realize now if I put this on, I'm covering up so much of the dark that if this background was, why do I keep forgetting the name of that color, Blackberry Bliss, it wouldn't make any sense because you wouldn't even hardly see it. We have some of this, and then again, you can see them off to the side a little bit, I guess. Might have to trim this down a bit. There was going to be this one. We'll put that over top of it afterwards. But with these funky little blue flowers, on it. And then there's little ones all around, but I had these little guys too that I was going to intersperse if there was room, but I'm starting to think that that this piece is too big though. And then I do have some that I purposely cut like smaller, so they're not all the full one. Yeah, see, I like that, just like that, only this would be on this side of the thing. I just think this might be a little too big. So I think I'm going to stick with this color because now it makes more sense to me. I'm going to use that as soon as I figure out what I did with them. There we go. I'm going to show you one more thing, but I'm like way over already. And then I'm going to use one of these. So this is just decorating at this point. I'm just going to glue everything all together. I do want a bigger one though. I think I think I should just finish this and show you the finished product. I was gonna just show you the trick to the corners though. Just a sec here. Well, not the trick, the tip, I guess it is. It's just glue. It's not like it's a trick. No, that's not gonna work. I need it to be heftier than that. Try this one here. See, I want all these flowers up, but I don't want to cover up too much of what I'm looking at. Let me build this a little bit wider, I think. That's my problem. I will eventually try every one of them and decide on one. Yeah, see, that's bigger than the other one was. This is my other thought, because I don't know if I want the white in the background. It's another one of my problems that I was thinking of. I might just put them on. Anyways, I'll get to the decorating and I will post the final picture because I already kept you late just by having my technical difficulties. But I just love these flowers. They're amazing. Okay, so as you know, my favorite adhesive of all time is the tear and tape. I do, though, tend to use the seal when it's just putting on pieces of DSP. But so shocking as it all is, get that one centered. Oh, this paper is so pretty. This piece here, especially this piece, but also on the inside here, I'm actually going to use, oops, it got stuck. I'm actually going to use Tombow. And the reason for that, I'm going to get my little thing up, is when you slide this up and I did it on the one, I didn't get far enough down. When you're putting this, your band on and off, if you don't glue it down well enough, and I was rushing earlier, and I know better, anytime you've got a really good point, you can't really get in it with your seal. Like the seal just doesn't get all the way in the corner unless you run right off the corner, but then you make a sticky edge. But if you don't glue it well, this is what happens, right? My belly band is now going underneath the DSP instead of over the DSP. And then you're going to run into issues when you try to put this on. So you want to make sure that you are glued right to the corner of it. So you get a nice good seal on it. So I'm going to use the white glue just to get that. Now I don't want it oozing out. But I find, I'm just going to get the glue started. Yeah. I find that if you put like, you know, your little bead of glue a little bit farther back, from the edge, just like you want to. And then if you just kind of use the tip of it, oops, just a minute, it was, I stored it upside down, and for whatever reason, it's like oozing out like crazy right now. But if you just use the tip and you just kind of spread it a little bit, why is this glue like it's like it's never been used before? It wasn't used that long ago. Just gonna, it's got so much pressure buildup on it that I can't get it to stop oozing out on me. There we go. Yes, did I just get glue all over my hand doing that? Okay. I just used the tip of the glue. And actually, I'll show you another little trick here. This is just one of my cardstock scraps, which, yes, I probably could cut a piece of flour out of something. Here, I'll use one that's not even, this was, I was making jar lids for my jars. But just take whatever kind of piece of scrap, and you could use that as well. And so take your, like the bead that you just put on, and just kind of smooth it out a little bit. And smooth it into the corner. So instead of being a bead in the corner, it's just a flat layer of glue in the corner. Because then nothing's going to ooze out, but at the same time, keep that on my silicone mat there. At the same time, you have glue all the way to the edge. Now, the stuff in the middle is not a big deal. It's the points. It's going to hit the point, and that's where it's going to matter the most. So you can just use this to kind of spread it out, and then it'll keep it. I have a recycle bin under my desk. That's where that was going. Plus, by using this, it gives you, yeah, I'm making sure I'm putting on the right one. It gives you just a little bit of time to wiggle it around if it's not exactly where you want. Like that. There we go. And then, I have to get a little bit there because I have it on my hands now. And then when you rub it all down, you now have glue right to the edge. So when you go to put your belly band on, it's not going to come off. And I can tell already that, like, you're going to have to give it a little maneuvering here, because now I'm going to start putting layers of cardstock on. It's going to start to get thicker and thicker and thicker as we go. I'm going to do the same thing on the inside, but with my other piece of my other triangle there. But the other thing I was going to say is, this is the piece that we cut off at the beginning that we had an extra piece of. And I think you could put this along the bottom. And I actually like to just kind of lift it up a little bit, because this is going to be just a gift card. So it's not super bulky. I think you could just put your gift card like that, and you could just put this in here somewhere. It could be right along the bottom if you wanted to. I just kind of think maybe it looks a little nice. It's like that. So we can just put our extra piece there. I'm going to stamp on the inside one. And then make it into a gift card holder. And if you choose to not, like, you don't need to make it into a gift card holder, I think you could just put a little strip of paper on here. You could stamp like an inside sentiment, as well as, I don't actually know what I did with the, so on the front of mine, this one has thanks on it. In this stamp set, there's also a stamp. I got everything's open here. There's also a stamp here that says, I appreciate you. So you could always have like thanks on the outside here. You could stamp, I appreciate you. You could stamp flowers in there. You have lots of options. So I have no idea what this card is called. The point cover. I have no idea what this card is, but I do like it. And it's just a little bit, you're fancying it up just a little bit. I'm gonna put this in here, even though I puffed it up, it's still gonna work with the seeds. But yeah, it's just a little bit fancier for special occasions, or when you really want to thank somebody, special birthdays, you know, you want to go that extra mile. I'm going to fix this corner, because now that I've done it. Once you do it once, you'll do it every time afterwards. Oops. There we go. Oh, there we are. Oh, I like that card. Love this suite. It's one of the first ones I saw, and I was like, oh, I need that one. Okay, thank you, everybody. I'm sorry I went over so long. I went 10 minutes past, even plus the 15 that I started late. Thank you for your patience. Thanks for joining me. If you have any questions or you run into any issues getting like signed up for the rewards or understanding it, let me know. I will have a few more things to post this week, but I just won't be talking to you in person. So have a fantastic Easter weekend. May all your chocolate be solid. Spend time with family, spend time having peace and quiet by yourself. Whatever works for you. I hope you have a fabulous holiday weekend. Thanks, everyone.